We had these friends in middle school and high school. They heard this scream, and it freaked Keely out so much that she took off running into 605, and she actually got hit by a car that night. Fast forward, it was around midnight. We were going to go fishing. We heard this really, really high-pitched scream, like a kid was getting attacked. 5 seconds later, we heard the scream behind us. Then we heard it again back in the woods. So we get to school the next day, and we're talking about it at lunch, and they were like, that's exactly what it sounded like. Something's living in these woods.
From the dawn of the spoken word, storytelling has been the backbone of human culture, warning of looming dangers and evoking our most personal fears. What you're about to hear are the real-life experiences of everyday people, brave enough to share their terrifying tales. Tales where the horror hits close to home. I'm your host, Danny. Welcome to the Hometown Horrors Podcast. Listen, if you dare. How is it going, everybody? This is the Hometown Horrors Podcast, and we have a special episode right now. This is the first of a couple I've got planned, but we have John, we have Dan, we have Kelly. And they'll all have their own individual episodes out by the time you hear this. But we're just going to have a kind of a round table and talk about the experiences that they had and also some spooky stuff that's happened at their childhood house.
So I'm curious, Dan, what did you guys talk about?
A lot of pain. You know? We talked about the haunted house at the beach and some crazy woodland creature that may or may not have been Danny. I don't know. Creeping around in the woods.
It's not all me.
Yeah, so that was about it. We cried, we laughed, we had a good time. Made fun of you a lot, actually, Kelly.
That bunny man thing? Bullshit.
It's all crap. Made it all up. It's not a coincidence that I'm a bunny owner and that
picture?
Photoshopped it all. It's completely fake. No, just kidding. You want to hear the ironic part about all of this? So I had this hard drive when I was in college that backed up all the photos, and I encrypted it, thinking like, you
gotta keep it safe.
I gotta keep it safe.
The government's gonna try to find out.
Government's gonna take my photos. No, and I had other photos and hundreds of movies downloaded from various places. So I encrypted it, and years later, I forgot the password. I have all these photos from college, and I can't get to them, including the ones from Bunnyman Bridge. I do have copies of it, but the original file, it sucks.
So that photo is real.
Oh, yeah. Hand to God.
Photo's real. I remember I was sitting with you. We were toying around in Photoshop when you first took it, like adjusting like levels and stuff.
Yeah. And remember when the photo happened back in 2008? Yeah, 2009 maybe. I just got like my first laptop ever, and like I had never used Photoshop. I just picked up a camera for the first time, really. So to even conceive of faking it,
you have not put down a camera since.
Photo boy. Now I've contemplated going back there. Shoot, now that I got a drone, maybe I can get some.
You won't go right
aerial.
now.
Right now,
Yeah.
Not unless someone drives me.
Johnny's driving.
Johnny's driving.
He's
irresponsible.
Speak up, Johnny.
We're going to Clifton. Clifton, let's go to Clifton.
Yeah, no.
Dude, what if we did? What if we just went down there now?
Can we rig up these
And then,
bikes
like,
in
came
the
back?
car and like take a drive to?
We would need a
Clifton?
dedicated power source for sure.
I have a generator. Or we could rig up like a hamster wheel, and Johnny could do push-ups the whole time we're doing it. Here, keep us online.
Generates too much
We'd have
power,
to-
burns out the mics.
It would be cool to go back. The idea of it's kind of spooky, kind of scary. Not
Jinkies.
gonna lie. I went back after the photo, but it was in the middle of the day, and it was like
Yeah, the
April
spooky thing
or
is we're
something.
gonna get arrested for going there tonight.
It's definitely very possible. A lot of cops, because it's a hot spot.
Yeah, and
Especially-
let's be real. Like the ghost chasing people are kind of nuts.
Yes, they trespass, they break into stuff.
Yeah.
But how you gonna get cool, shows on the History Channel? unless
Exactly.
you break some barriers.
What is
What
that?
is that? What is that?
I swear
There's
to God.
a warm
It was a
liquid.
squatch. I heard a squatch.
There is a warm liquid coming down my. I don't know. It's coming from my crotch.
What is that?
What is that?
The wind. You shut up. No, you shut up. Everybody shut up. But yeah, no, I went back once after, and it was the middle of the day. It was like April. But I know some people who say they went back on like Halloween or a holiday or something, and cops do swing by there.
Area,
Rightfully so. Because you had that nutbag in the 70s that tried to recreate it and dressed up as the bunny suit and was attacking cars. Have you heard that story?
I think you mentioned it briefly.
Yeah. So the original story is the stuff that I talked about. But yeah, the thing in the 70s was weird. I guess there was a guy in a pink bunny suit who would attack cars and like throw hatchets at them. Like, no, that's documented. Like those things happened.
That is documented lore.
It is. Look, Johnny, it's science. You can't. You can't argue with it.
Look, we would go back there and we get arrested by some cop, and he's like cuffing us, and he has like rabbit's feet on this like keychain. We're like,
he's part of it.
Oh
Like,
my
it's
god!
the conspiracy. You're like, his
goes all the way to
his
the
name.
top.
His name is like Detective Hop or something. And it's like, oh my god, we did it.
All right, so we're at Bunnyman Bridge right now.
Yeah. Oh my. Do you guys hear that?
What is that?
What the fuck is that? All right, Danny, I need to ask you. So, in your opinion and estimation, what is the realest ghost hunter television series? What seems like the most authentic? I love that stuff, but there's so much of it now, and it's all kind of
Yeah. So here's the thing, like you can't just snap your fingers and make this shit happen. It happens when you're not expecting it. It happens when you're vulnerable. As you're asleep, you wake up in the middle of the night. John and Kelly specifically, you have the stories of someone walking down that long hallway, opening the door, coming into the room.
That is really creepy that it happened to both of us.
It still
like
happens.
different times.
It still happens to me when I stay at the house.
Yeah, like
But-
this is ongoing for Johnny, which is
What's
fucking
weird
creepy.
though is like when I went through that story, the context of it was completely different, but it's the same scenario.
And for you, it was threatening, whereas Johnny specifically said it's spooky that it's happening, but it doesn't seem like it's trying to fuck with him.
Yeah. See, I feel like I provoked it when it happened to me.
Yeah.
And I felt really, really bad after it happened. I was like, I'm never doing that again.
When it happened to me, last time was probably 2 months ago, staying at the house. It's not a threatening presence. I have that hallway door shut and I sleep with that massive fan on, right? And when you open that door, you hear and you feel the pressure change. So that would wake me up. You see down the hallway, there's no one there. And you hear footsteps in that room. Then I'd feel the bed compress.
That's nuts. That's just, I mean, word for word.
Yeah.
Like,
And Johnny
that's
didn't listen to your episode, I don't think.
I know what-
I haven't listened to any.
I know we've
Yeah.
probably talked about it, but not in any
But what's weird is
significant detail.
as a kid, I don't really remember too much of that. But I could stay the night next weekend and it'd probably happen.
And it's definitely something different from what you experienced.
Yeah, because I feel like that night it was a one and done kind of thing. I had provoked something and I learned my lesson. That was
What
like,
is it you thought you provoked?
So mom and dad took us on this Old Town Warrenton ghost tour. There was a group of like 10 people or so, and there was a guide walking through Old Town. And she told this story about this guy, and I won't go into it again. You'll have to listen to the other episode. Bunnyman Bridge, episode number 4. Check it out. Well, anyway, this guy, the circumstances of his death and his life seemed hilarious to Matthew and I. So we... So we made fun of him in the graveyard where like the guy was buried. It was so stupid. Like, I can't believe we ever did this. And then like we're driving away and like we drove right past the grave, which was right by the police station in Old Town Warrenton.
Yeah, also laughable.
I like yelled something out the window, something stupid. That night, Matt was supposed to stay the night. He starts throwing up everywhere. His mom comes to get him. And then that night is when I wake up and all that scary stuff happens. And I felt like I provoked that. But what Johnny went through, it's completely different.
Talking to all these people, it's like, yes, there's activity at places. That's a proven thing. You have ghost hunters that pay to go to places just to make content off of it, but you can't set your watch to any supernatural experience. Sometimes it is just little things like a cabinet closing or like doors slamming or just weird footsteps. How do you prove anything off of that? My theory is that like you can't get this stuff to replicate, so there's almost no reliable way to monetize that content. So you might need the manufacturer, you might need to play shit up. A lot of it may just be people in a scary, haunted, dark room like, oh, what is that? Do you guys feel that?
Like they are all hyping themselves up. Like, of course it's
Yeah,
going to
when
get...
you're looking for something.
Yeah, you
you're
hear...
gonna find
Yeah,
it.
right.
And it doesn't necessarily mean it's not real, but how can you prove anyone's specific experience meant anything in the long run?
And we just talked about in our podcast about that one girl I was dating who was into that paranormal stuff. All those weird things started happening at the house. Things started going missing. They were moved. She was attacked.
It's kind of like a glitter bomb. If you open it up in your house, you're never getting that glitter out. If you have someone that dabbles in weird paranormal shit, that glitter bomb's going to be in that area forever.
Well, thank you for bringing up glitter because I have a horror story involving glitter. One time when I was in middle school, some kid dumped an entire industrial-sized bucket of glitter on my head. And I had really thick curly hair back then. And it was years.
So you're still washing it out today?
Yes, I would say. But in all honesty, it was years that I had glitter on things that I owned in my house, in the shower, on my body.
You'll never get this off.
This glitter will stick with you for life. Like the tattoos.
So what do you guys think would personally convince you that ghosts are real, like 1,000,000%?
My gut feeling. I'm pretty darn skeptical of most things, but when it comes to the gut feeling, that's one of the few things I'll rely on no matter what. Whether it was Bunnyman Bridge or the stuff that happened at the parents' house, I know it down to my core that something was going on there.
So you had a UFO story too, right?
I did.
Got to it.
Yeah. So same bedroom that I was in during the whole footsteps thing, episode 4.
Episode 4 of the Hometown Horror.
Episode 4. Hey, I'm trying to tell a story. Will you two pay attention? You're distracting me. You know, the microphones can't show it, but you are really jamming me up here.
Let the record show Kelly's taking his shirt off and
I
flexing.
have both hands in the air, and I'm waving them around like this. Can you hear it? So anyway, I started blasting, and no, anyway. All right, so UFO story. I was in 7th grade, so this would have been a year, at least 6 months after the footsteps. I woke up like probably an hour or so before my alarm clock went off, and I had my shades up, and it was a full moon, so everything was super bright. And there's these 3 flashing lights in the sky.
Is this after you watched the X-Files episode?
No, sorry, I'm just distracted.
I like your hat.
Yeah, I like your hat.
Did you get that?
I'm sorry. Anyway, I'm looking out the window and I see these 3 flashing lights, and it was red, yellow, and blue. They were definitely bigger than a star. They weren't quite as big as the moon. I would say they were size-wise in
For
between.
sure not a space station.
No, definitely not, because they were...
Who's to say?
No, because like if you're just looking out a window and you see the moon and you see a star, the sizing was very different. And it was almost like they were pulsating.
The reflection off the VCR bouncing off the window.
I didn't have a
or something?
VCR in my room.
The Betamax.
And I'm looking at this and like I'm laying on my side because I'm like, I'm in bed. And I kind of sit up and I'm just staring out there. And I'm like, what the fudge is going on? And they moved in unison. They formed a triangle. At first, they weren't.
Individually, they were all just kind of scattered.
They were kind of in a straight line.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess it was a straight line, but
That's
They
not
were
an airplane.
interacting with each other.
But yeah, they like when they all moved at once together and they formed a triangle and it just sat there. It's like they were alive. So I finally got up out of my bed. I went downstairs, walked out the front door, and I stood on the driveway right in front of the pond, staring up at these things in a triangle, just sitting there. And then they just fade and they just go away. It probably lasted, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes from the time like I woke up, saw it, and then walked outside.
Yeah, if anyone's getting abducted, it's definitely a rural catlet.
Right? Yeah. My dumbass, like, let me make it really easy for them. Let me go outside.
Dad
Like,
would come out there and be like, we're shutting this thing
Yeah, we're
down.
sure-
Everybody be quiet. We're all trying to go to sleep here.
Yeah, right. And so I didn't know what to think. First, I was like, it was a plane. It's a satellite. It was, I don't know. Well, I went to school that morning. I get to class and I'm talking about it. And my teacher, this really awesome lady named Mrs. Daniels, she overheard it. And she immediately said, where do you live? And I told her,
Catlet.
USA, baby. Where do you live?
What are you doing later?
I think she said she lived in Midland, if I remember, like kind of near Crockett Park. It's just a couple miles up the road. And she literally said, I saw the exact same thing. And we both just like stared at each other. There was like this 10 seconds of just like both of us, like imagine a whole classroom talking and then having like a staring contest with a teacher and both of you realizing like oh my God, what did we just see? But
Not finding any answers.
Not finding any, and nobody else really seemed to care or understand any of it. But 10 miles away, saw the exact same thing that morning. No idea what it was.
What do you think it was? Swamp gas?
Swamp gas.
The planet Venus? What do you think it was for real?
Could have been my anus. I mean, Uranus. Sorry.
It could have been anybody's anus.
Could have been anybody's
What
anus.
do you think it was?
Weather balloons, the government.
I honestly don't know because, like, when you think of a UFO, you think of, a spacecraft, but that was just light. It was a UFO for sure because it's
Unidentified object in the air. That's what
identified.
UFO stands for, yeah.
I saw something similar out my bedroom window. It was 4 lights. I think they were all blue. They were multicolor, but they were dancing around as you described, moving in lines and patterns to the point where I went downstairs and I got Mom and I said, "Look at this. What is this?" And I wanted Mom to be like, "Oh, that's just
Aurora Borealis.
Aurora Borealis. At this time of the year, at this particular
Localized entirely to your kitchen.
Yes. Unfortunately,
Can I
that's not
see
what
it?
She said. She was just as freaked out and shocked, which didn't help me because I was 9. I wanted her to tell me everything was okay. But
calm you down.
But to hear her go, "Oh my God, what is that?" I go, "You're not helping here." So.
Dad goes, no, don't worry about it.
I've never seen a UFO, but I did see ball lightning.
What is ball lightning?
Yeah.
I don't know the scientific explanation.
What does it look like?
I believe there is a scientific explanation.
know.
Look it up. Look it up on your phone.
lightning-
No, nobody's looking up
Typically
anything on
hitting
their
balls,
phone. Right? We're
So basically,
speculating.
One ball or both balls?
So I saw it in our basement near the power breaker. So it's basically lightning, but in an actual sphere that can form coming off of power lines, off of breaker boxes in certain conditions. I thought it was an orb, and I was like, "Oh, it was alien, super." No, it's ball.
Cold Case Western Australia is a new true crime podcast series produced on behalf of the WA Police Force Special Crime Squad. The series examines unsolved homicide cases, some dating back several decades, in the world's largest policing jurisdiction. You'll hear new case details and insights from the investigating detectives and forensic experts. There are now $1 million rewards attached to each unsolved homicide in Western Australia. You can listen to Cold Case Western Australia wherever you get your podcasts or by visiting the WA Police Force website.
You say ball, like those things you buy at Spencer's where you you put your fingers on the sphere
And the little lightning
the
bolts.
little electrodes make a
Kind
connection.
of like that.
There's videos of ball lightning on.
Yeah, I believe it is a
phenomenon.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's enough people who
Not
talk
related
about
to
it that
anything
it
like
is
weird or
true.
paranormal. It's
No.
just a
How do you just say that word correctly the first time? Phenomenon?
Phenomenon. Phenomena.
Is that how you do it?
Yeah.
Phenomenon.
The Muppets had it the whole time.
Mom has a story about some orb coming into her room.
She
and
really
it sounds
does.
like ball lightning to me. This would have been when she was a kid.
She was laying in her bed. She had her window open and it flew in from the window,
But there was a metal grate in the window.
but it passed through it.
Yeah.
And it hovered right over her head, right over her forehead. And it just kind of floated back out.
Do you think the house might be a hot spot?
The house itself, I don't think is a hotspot because it was built in 1991.
90.
And we've been the only family that's lived in it.
That we know of.
And as much as the weird stuff that's gone on, it ain't that weird. But the property we lived on,
It was cattle farm before the houses were built.
but there's evidence suggests that George Washington during the Revolutionary War, his army camped out on our property. And then not even a mile away, you had the Battle of Coffee Hill. Just up the road, you had the Battle of Manassas, Bull Run 1 and 2. You had Fredericksburg to the south. I mean, think of all the history that has happened and of all the people that have potentially walked through, camped, died, whatever. There's a crew of people that wanted to come out and dig up the backyard, be like, oh, we want to look for muskets and bullets and shit. But Dad just said, get off my lawn. And, that was it.
It's a for sure battlefield if you go digging right now.
There's so much history around us. It's hard to nail down.
Wasn't there a dude that lived out in the woods alone?
There was.
And then he ended up, was it suicide? Or did he just die?
I don't recall. But I remember
Yes.
one of my birthdays, we'd always go back in the woods. And I think it was you or someone else said you saw one of the guys just like watching us when we were back in there.
Whoa. Elaborate on this. What are y'all talking about?
Back where the chill fort used to be, you keep going back, right? You keep going back far enough, you hit Ringwood.
Right.
It's back into the left.
Back.
into the left. Yeah. There's a creepy house back there. It's like built into
It's built
the
into the
ground.
hill.
Yeah, same guy.
Weird house.
He actually showed up one day when me and a couple of friends were over shooting guns.
That's a great time to show up out of the woods. Is that gunfire?
No, he
All right, I'm going to go check it out.
He came up the driveway and he said it hit his house, which is just completely impossible. We're not firing at his direction, and he's a half a mile of wood.
Oh, at least.
So he was already missing some gears.
You have like a Boo Radley thing kind of going on.
And yeah, that is the guy who eventually
There's a Bo Radley.
committed suicide.
It is Boo Radley. All right.
Played by,
That's
what's his
strange.
name? Who lives down the street.
Robert Duvall.
That's
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
He came into Harris.
Who
Theater a
also
few
probably
times.
has some haunted stories who we should get on the podcast.
Yeah,
Yeah, no doubt.
I'm
Robert
also
Duvall.
trying to get Tom DeLonge on. He's probably got some good.
Oh, he
UFO
loves some
stories.
alien stuff, dude.
Yeah, he does.
It's
I
one
was
of my
trying to
favorite
DM him
songs,
on
dude.
Instagram, but apparently, if you got like a blue chat marker or you're a celebrity, it like blocks out regular DMs, which you
Good.
fucking have to.
Oh.
Yeah,
Good.
I'll text him for you.
yeah.
Peasants.
I just need to reach out to Travis and he'll patch me through.
You know, this is a good segue since we're talking about the woods and the chill fort. I think this is the time to bring up the Chabit.
So let's elaborate on the chill fort first.
Okay.
It was just a fun little fort in the woods.
It wasn't
where-
little at all, Danny.
Hey guys, it wasn't always the chill fort. Okay, if we're gonna go back and talk about history,
No, go back.
Let's
Let's go back.
That's
Let's
what it was
just.
called.
We're in the
Yeah.
Similarian. Go back. Let's hear the
It
history.
was actually originally called the Pot Spot.
It had to be rebranded later because that.
That's true. It consisted of a table made out of some wood, 3 plastic chairs, a foil antenna that I could plug into my cordless phone.
It was like 15 feet long.
Yes,
And it worked.
A foil antenna.
That was the crazy thing. It
that
worked.
went into the tree and it plugged into the cordless phone for the house. So
When
if
mom and dad
called
were
and said
coming
she was
home.
coming home, I could pretend I was in the house, not in the woods. And then it devolved into.
Devolved. All right.
It devolved. It rotted down, and then Kelly took over, and then I'll let you take over.
All right. This is what happened. We were out in the woods. You guys remember that old satellite dish?
The 30-foot.
Yeah, it was massive. It was bigger than the car. When they finally got like DirecTV or something, they threw it in the woods. We were back there and we were just like, oh my God, look at this giant satellite dish. And we were like, you could make a fort out of this. And that one tree, when you first walk through the woods and it's all cleared out around it. I think, I'm not sure who somebody nailed in some steps.
There was me and my friends from
Okay.
the pot spot. We
From
were
the
putting
pot
the
spot.
antenna into the tree.
All right, so you nailed in like 4 or 5 like steps, and we were like, "This is where we're gonna do it." So we took Dan's brilliant idea and expanded on it, and I don't know.
See, I had tinfoil. You guys had satellites. Okay.
Dude, we had plywood and wire. We had a window in the fort. We had a mini fridge.
We brought power.
Christmas. Yeah, I ran a 400-foot extension cable from the house. And, put in like 3 surge protectors. I think we had Christmas lights all over it. We had a stereo, but it worked. No, we had
Back in my day, we didn't have nothing like that. All right.
we had helmets with candles in it.
We got by on good old fashioned gumption.
All right, so we built this fort, and essentially it's just 4x8 plywood and like a pentagon, and then we stacked it. We had this wire to hold it up, and we put this big bright blue tarp on top of it. I remember me and Chris cut down this tree. It was in the middle of a thunderstorm, and like we both had axes, and we were just hacking away at this tree, and we finally got it, and we poured concrete in this thing and put the tarp up. And the first or second night we had it, it rained, and it just collected all this water, and it was horrible. Because like we spent so much time cutting this tree down and getting it up and tying the thing up. We were like, "This is so awesome!" And then it rains, and it was just like, bleh. So we eventually got rid of the top. We ended up building a big fire pit instead, which was great. A lot of
We burned the chairs like a ritual.
those
every
plastic
weekend.
chairs. It was so hot because we were confined.
Wasn't there some sort of artifact known as the Sword
The
of
sword
Ultimate
of, oh my
Destiny?
gosh, yeah. The sword of all that might be for another time. Sword of ultimate, that's
Maybe.
Oh, well,
That's
you
for a
know
di-
what?
that's
No,
for a
no, no, no,
different
no, no, no,
podcast.
because we're talking about the Chabit, and the reason why that weapon was forged was to combat the Chabit.
And the fires of the chill.
The fires of the chill fort to combat the mythical beasts of the Chabit. All right, so I'm going to back up. I'm going to tell you the original story of the Chabit.
Yeah, we had guns and we made a sword.
Stop making fun of my sword. Anyway, so we had these friends in middle school and high school. They lived about a mile away from where we live. Well, one night they were out walking on the highway. Correct me if I'm wrong, but one of them may have been influenced by
spirits or vapors.
Spirits or vapors. Anyway, they hear
Can you
this.
speak plainly, please? I'm not following.
We from Catlit.
We from Catlit. No, they heard this scream, and it freaked Keely out so much that she took off running into 605, and she actually got hit by a car that night.
Holy shit.
Yeah, this is a true story.
Right.
She got hit by a car, but she was fine, mostly. So the name Chabit, their dad's name is Chad. And I don't know if they thought it was a rabbit, but something happened where it was like, oh, it was the Chabit. And we heard about this at school, and that's just kind of like how it happened. So anyway, fast forward, me and Chris, we were in my basement. It was around midnight, and we were going to go fishing at the old Shepherd Pond. The house is to your back. You're staring straight across the yard. These people had these two dogs, and they were super loud. They were barking like crazy. And then we heard this really, really high-pitched scream. And it was like nothing I had ever heard before. We thought like a kid was getting attacked by these dogs. They weren't just barking. They were aggressive. Like they were like, making all this noise. And then we heard the scream. We were legitimately worried. And we were both just kind of standing there like, what do we do? What do we do? And then like 5 seconds later, we heard the scream behind us. So if you're at the pond, there's a hill that goes up, and then there's the house. It's like we heard it at the top of the hill, like where the driveway is. Then we heard it again back in the woods. The dogs are going crazy. I mean, we freaked out. We went up to the house real quick. And mom and dad were at the dinner table when we get in. We're telling them what's happening. I'll never forget this. I didn't even have my driver's license. And dad just chucks me the keys to his old truck. He was like, well, go figure it out. And I was just like, oh, okay. So you know that old Tacoma, the red one?
No, that was a Nissan.
Oh, you're right. It was a Nissan. And then he got a red Tacoma after that. But yeah, you're right. It was the Nissan. It had the plow on it. So me and Chris get in this thing. Good for running things over. I mean, I felt semi-protected. So we're driving through the field. We're driving down the driveway. We got the high beams on and we're looking. We can't find anything. And that was it for that night. No idea what it was. None of us had ever heard that before. So we get to school the next day. And we're talking about it at lunch, and they were like, that's exactly what it sounded like. We were describing it. So all of a sudden we had like corroboration.
There's lore now.
We were like, okay, what is this? Where do you live? Oh my God, like you're a mile away from me. Something's living in these woods. The myth was born. There were a few other encounters with this thing through the years. Definitely the scariest time. This was after the chill fort was built, forged, erected. We were in there. We just had a campfire. We're drinking beers. We're hanging out. And we hear the dogs barking again. It always started with dogs barking first. So we're in the chill fort, and it's just me, Chris, and this guy, Corey. We're just chilling. We're not doing anything crazy. We're just hanging out. Dog's been going off for a while. And we hear it at least a mile away. It was very far off. And we were kind of like, oh my God, there it is. And then like a minute later, we heard it in my parents' yard. So then this was the craziest thing. The alarm at my parents' house started going off. It wasn't armed. I don't even know if mom and dad were home now that I think about it. They may have been in like Florida or something. And the alarm just starts going off. And then we hear it again. It's in the yard.
Or in the house.
That's what we thought. Like at first we were like, oh my God, it's breaking into the house. But who set the alarm? Why is the alarm going off? And this is before, Simply Safe and all the mobile phones didn't exist when this was going on.
Hey, they did in the pot spot, actually.
Okay.
They've developed that technology there first.
You're right. We may have devolved, but, our fort was much stronger and well equipped to handle the
burgeoning threat of the chat.
So anyway, the alarm's going off and we hear this thing, and we went back to the house and, we turned the alarm off. We checked all the windows and the doors. It was just so weird. We had flashlights. We're looking through the yard. We didn't see anything. And we didn't hear it for the rest of the night. I don't think we went back to the fort after that. There was one time Chris played a prank on all of us. It was pretty good.
I remember that one.
Chris went out hiding in the woods and mimicked the scream and freaked all of us out. and like slowly creeped up towards the fort and did it. And like we all took off running towards the house. And then he just bolted out of the woods chasing everybody. And we were like, oh, you son of a bitch. Like, but dude, it was so.
Johnny wasn't equipped at the time.
Yeah. Like, but seriously though, we were all terrified. He got us good.
And we've heard it too, where it's just like maybe me, Johnny, and other friends in our grade. Like we'll be down at the pond at night doing whatever it is dumb teenagers do. And then we'll go up to the house and we'll hear it in the woods. And then we'll hear it behind us at the pond. It's like, let's get the hell out of here.
Similar to Kelly's story. I remember that happened to us too.
Yeah. There was also a time where we were right outside the door to the basement. And outside is like two flanking brick walls where the land kind of descends into the opening to the basement. We were sitting on each side of those walls. And in the woods, we just start hearing branches as thick as your arm. It sounds like, imagine like a bunch of pretzel sticks just snapping over and over and over again. We're like, we got to get the hell in the house. And then we start hearing the Chabit yell. I remember you guys had a number of like outdoor cats throughout the years, and they were kind of like chilling with us. And then that sound started happening and they immediately started bolting.
Honestly, I don't think I've ever heard a more terrifying noise. It almost sounded like a little girl just in so much pain, screaming at the top of her lungs. I'm getting chills just thinking about it.
What about the animals, coyote, fox, bunny, rabbits?
I've heard coyotes before.
What about the bunnies and rabbits? They can do it.
It doesn't sound, it's not like that. I've heard bunnies do it before, and it's not nearly as loud. It's just different. And it could be a fox. I've heard a fox scream before, but it's still different. Now it's possible they can make more than one scream.
We've seen.
But every time I've heard a fox scream, it's kind of, I don't know, depending on the fox, it's like mold, it's quiet, or it was always the same.
And we have bobcat.
Every time I heard it, I don't think it was a bobcat. Bobcat's
it's more similar to a fox and a bobcat, but it's not a fox.
It's not a fox.
Yeah.
I don't think it is. And I don't know what it is. All I know is that every animal in the woods is terrified of it, which means it's a predator.
Dan, your story, that thing you guys saw in the woods.
Go into that again. I want to hear it.
Me and Tyler walking in the woods, we saw a monster.
Something was sitting with its back to you on a log.
It was like the tree root thing that, like,
yes, like a tree
the face,
man,
like the face on the tree that turned around and looked at you.
It looked like it was made out of a beehive. Turned around and looked at us, and it was getting up, and we ran. Didn't make any noise other than the fact that it was moving.
So it didn't bark at you?
No.
How big was it?
Oh.
It's hard to say because I was a kid.
Where-
So I would say human size, like an adult male.
Where in the woods was this?
At Tyler's house, at the very bottom of his driveway.
He lived in Warrenton, right?
Past Fauquier High School.
Near the FBI and SCIA facility.
Way to call
Allegedly.
him out, Johnny.
Cut that.
I'm just saying.
I remember
Never
you
had
told
a
me that
clue
once at
where.
Lake George, and we were sitting on the edge of the dock at like, I don't know, probably 2 a.m. or something.
Yeah.
That freaked the crap out of me because I was imagining
scares
it,
me too.
and
It's one of the scariest things I've
my
ever seen.
imagination kind of ran with it, and that freaked me out.
And what I told you earlier, the one thing that is undeniably true is the fear that me and Tyler felt at the same time.
So he saw the exact same thing.
It wasn't a moment of like, are we looking at something weird? We both ran as fast as we could all the way up his driveway, which was very steep and very long. And we ran the entire freaking way.
Do you still have contact with him at all?
No, but I could. And
It would be interesting to hear his side of the story.
You know what? This is something I've thought about often. And I actually did speak to him, I'm going to say maybe 10, 12 years ago. And it's the first time I spoke to him in probably 10 or 12 years before that. And that's one of the few things I brought up. And he agreed. And, I think his version was slightly different than mine. But he absolutely remembered what the hell I was talking about.
Yeah.
And you know what? I should reach out to him.
Yeah,
again,
dude.
'cause
I'd
would
love
like
to hear.
His version is probably like a pink elephant. He like kicked its ass or something, and I cried the whole way.
So, anyways, I started blasting.
Yeah, exactly. But that would be a good
Thread to pull.
yes, just to see how those memories have dovetailed over the last 28 years.
So thank you guys for coming on, humoring me. I appreciate it.
Thanks, brother.
It was a pleasure. Thank you.
And thank you at home for listening. See you later, folks.
Now those were some frightfully fun stories. Howdy everybody, it's me, your host Danny, and I wanted to let you in on something special. You might have noticed that when I introduce the show, I say we are the Hometown Horrors podcast. That's because there will always be at least 3 people in each episode. Me, the person who wants to hear a good story, the guest, the teller of a good story, and you, the listener, that takes that story and carries it with you out into the world. And we make up a special kind of trinity. We are the Hometown Horrors podcast. And if you ever want to graduate from listener to guest, reach out to us via our handle on Instagram, hometown_horrors_podcast. Our email is thehometownhorrorspodcast, no spaces, @gmail.com, or via text or phone call at 571-358-8880, which FYI is not my personal number, but give it a ring. I'll get back to you, because if there's anything I've learned from doing the podcast is that everybody has a story, and that story deserves to be heard. On your number one source for the most spine-tingling, gut-wrenching, insomnia-inducing stories around, the Hometown Horrors Podcast.